back to my channel. So today I'm going to be organising my bookshelf, and believe me, it is a mess. So if you are looking for a very aesthetic vlog, if you want to see, you know, a huge room with floor to ceiling bookshelves with loads and loads of hundreds and thousands of books, then you're going to need to watch another video, because I am not an aesthetic girly by any means. My bookshelf is literally what you see behind me. It's not very big. And that is because I actually do read a lot on my Kindle. My bookshelf has got really messy, probably the past few, I'd say weeks, no, it's a lie, past few months, ever since I moved in here, basically. So we moved into this new house in December last year, and I think I just used my bookshelf as extra storage. So you'll actually see at the bottom, if I decide to show you, because it's a bit embarrassing, I have just lumped a load of stuff there. Like there's a game called Bananagrams that's down there. There's 2 dresses that I need to sell that are just, you know, folded onto the bottom shelf. I'm not very aesthetic, never have been, don't really have any sort of fashion sense. I have rocked up today with a greasy slick back pony because I just couldn't be bothered to do my hair, I'll be completely honest. This vlog is just here so you can get to know me more. I want to try to be a little bit of like a cozy, educational, yet get to know me type vlogger, where you feel like you know who I am, what story I'm writing, more about me and my journey, and just how I balance life as a writer slash editor. This might be a bit of a chaotic video today, and I apologise in advance, but if you want to get to know more about me, if you want me to show you some of the books that are on my bookshelf, and you just want to get a general sense of who I am, then definitely watch this video. I'd love to know what books you have read that are on my bookshelf, and any tips how I can just spice up my bookshelf a little bit. I do love the bookshelf, but it's just, yeah, it's not, you know, a bookshelf of dreams where you walk in and you're in like a fantasy library. It unfortunately just isn't like that, but I'm going to do the best with what I've got. So let's get into it. This is my messy bookshelf. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of the books off and then organise them again, because basically none of what I have here at the moment really makes much sense. So it's worth me doing that just for my insanity. Out of interest, I would love to know if you are somebody who has this, you know, gorgeous aesthetic bookshelf. Do you colour code your books? Do you know, you include hardbacks on one shelf? Do you include trilogies and series all in one line? You know, do you have a very aesthetic vibe? Because as you can probably tell, my vibe just isn't very aesthetic. And I feel like I'm going to disappoint you again today, because even when I reorganise it, it's probably still not going to be very aesthetic. But, you know, at least I'm honest. I've just found my super dusty Kindle. So I have got another Kindle. I've got the Kindle Scribe at the minute, and that's what I'm using for editing as well as reading. So it sort of has a 2-in-1 purpose, which I find really helpful. But yeah, look at this sad, poorly Kindle. It's low battery, it's covered in dust. Don't know if you can see how dusty that is. The back of it has got like tape on it. I think that's when I left it on a plane and they posted it back for like £60. In a bit of a sorry state, to be fair, but my partner does want it because I was going to sell it to, what's it called, CEX, and I would have got about maybe £30–40 for it, and then I would have lumped that in the wedding fund. But my partner wants it, even though he barely reads. He says he wants it, so that's what we're going with. I will also show you my crystal collection later as well. Again, my bookshelf ends up being just a storage space a lot of the time, which isn't what I want it to be, but I have shoved like all of my crystals. I've got my crystal box there as well, but I do need to start buying them again because I haven't went into a crystal shop in ages, and I used to be in a really good routine where I would use crystals all the time. I'd manifest with crystals, I like would meditate with crystals, and I'd carry crystals around for different purposes. So I would do that all the time, and then I just sort of fell out of it. And I find that when you're in a really good routine with crystals, you just begin to see your life transform in ways you might not expect. So I should get back into it, really. And as I'm holding these now, I'm like, oh God, I love it so much. Again, more crystals, more crystals, and a rainy day fund. A rainy day fund that probably has the equivalent of maybe like 3 Freddos in there, and that's it. Also, I am taking off the photo frames of me and my partner, because although I want to share more and be a little bit more personal with you as a writer, I don't always want to out my family or my partner, so I might put this elsewhere in the meantime and find somewhere else to put it in the house. Okay, now I want to show you my favourite present ever. I'm actually going to keep this where it is because I just love it so much. My dad, he's the cutest person ever, to be honest. Like, he really is like just an adorable man. He got me this mug just as a random present because he saw it online, and I think it was like a personalised this mug website, I don't know. And he saw it and he said, "Doesn't this look like Eden to my mum?" And it's basically, it says, "Just a girl who loves books." And it's a blonde girl, me, sitting by the window, I want to say. I'm not actually sure where she is, to be honest. It feels like maybe they're looking inside the window at her in the library. And she's sipping a coffee, which is what I would definitely have. And she's reading a book. And it's just my favourite mug ever. I never plan to drink from it. I think it actually fits the bookshelf vibe. So I am going to keep that on the top of the bookshelf. And I'm not going to move that. I'm going to keep that where it is. This is a Stevie Nicks. Oh my god, sorry, the dust. Basically, this is Stevie Nicks. I got it from, I think it was quite a cool little edgy, I hate the word edgy. I feel like whenever you say edgy, it's like, oh, you're not edgy. Edgy people don't say edgy, but anyway. It was I'd say it was like a book shop slash music shop slash really quirky music place which just had these cool prints in it. And there's this one of Stevie Nicks where it says, "Dreams unwind, love's a state of mind." Fun fact, she is my favourite artist ever in the entire universe. I love her so much. I have got a tattoo which is the tambourine from her Belladonna album. It's on my wrist. I don't know if it's a bit cringy for me to be like, look at it, because me and my partner have this ongoing joke that whenever Stevie Nicks starts to play, so if it's like Dreams, if it's a Fleetwood Mac song, which obviously Stevie Nicks is part of, if it's a Fleetwood Mac song, my partner always goes, "Oh, I love Stevie Nicks," because I'm just going to show you, it's a little bit embarrassing, but I'm going to show you anyway. I've got a tambourine Belladonna. I got it when I was about 19, 20, cost me £40, so live and let live. That's going back up there. Oh, look, that's just one bit of the shell. The actual cleaner itself is yellow, so some of it is the cleaner, but just look, you can see where the dust is, and it's not very nice. One of the other things that I've used this shelf for is to show off my 15k Tough Mudder medal. I did the Tough Mudder in July this year, so in 2025. I am not a runner by any means, so my partner can literally do marathons and I am just not that person. I cannot run to save my life, like I really can't. But he convinced me to do this Tough Mudder with him, and by convinced, he signed me up for it and then told me we were doing it. So I did this Tough Mudder. I was meant to train for it because there's so many obstacle courses. There's about 25 obstacle courses. It requires quite a lot of strength, there's a lot of teamwork, and it was really fun actually, and I didn't think I would enjoy it, but I did. We did it in about 4 hours, but a lot of that was actually just queuing for the obstacles. So there'd be ones where you just swam through dirt, and you'd have to queue for about 40 minutes for it, and I would just think, why am I queuing to swim through dirt? This, that's so gross, oh. Isn't this disgusting? I want to be relatable though, I'll be honest, hence the greasy hair and the quick throwing on of clothes and makeup. I want to be relatable, and so I imagine if you're watching this, you either are a really clean person, and I commend you for that, or you're relating to me and you're thinking, actually, yeah, I can be a bit disgusting too. So maybe I am making you feel better right now. The bookshelf is wiped, it is clean. I'm going to show you the state of this office, and I'm not going to lie, it wasn't really clean to begin with. Like I said, I am not a very clean person. I'm tidy, but I'm not, no, actually, I'm clean, I'm not very tidy. That's probably the best way to put it. I don't have much storage space in this house. We moved into this house thinking that we'd have loads of, storage room, and we actually don't. Our rooms are quite small upstairs, and as we've moved in over a year ago, we're still saving for our wedding. So a lot of our budget has gone towards the wedding and not the house. So I'll show you what I mean. You'll understand. It is a little bit of a mess, I'll be honest. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. These basically contain loads of different essays of different habits that you should do to be a better person, to become more productive, blah, 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 blah. I didn't read it, I'll be honest. So this would be on the TBR, but I'm going to put it up here. Leave it like that, because the more books I add, the better it will be. Then I have You Are a Effing Success by Noor Hibbert. As I mentioned earlier, me and my mum and my sister actually, we're all quite into the spiritual manifestation side of things, positive thinking, all that good stuff. And I feel like it's really helped me with my business. So I'm hoping it's going to help me with my writing too. It's just good to get into a decent headspace, you know, a clear, positive headspace, and I find these books really helpful. But again, outing myself, I haven't actually read this. Maybe if I read this, it would help. My mum left me a really lovely note in here. She said, "To Eden, I thought you would appreciate this book. Lots of love, Mum." And then she's put 2024. So I've had this book for a while. It's nearly 2026. So I will be reading this next year, but I am going to put it in the non-fiction section. Okay, I wasn't sure whether to show you this one because especially if any family or friends or like people from school watch this, they might think, what the hell? But I have read this book actually, and it is called Period Power, and it is about harnessing your hormones and getting your cycle working for you. It really helped me when I came off the implant about 3 years ago. I was always on, this is so TMI, but as I said, I want you to get to know me. I was on hormonal contraception for probably since I was 14. This really changed my outlook on how to be more productive on differing days of my cycle. It's just really interesting. And so for any of you girlies out there who are coming off hormonal contraception or want to know how to like cycle sync and be more productive with your cycle, highly recommend this book. It's really, really interesting. And that is going in the non-fiction pile. Your Manifesting Year. This is by Joey Hulin. Haven't read this again, but it's all about manifestation, non-fiction, good stuff. I'm going to put it here for now, but I'm going to just change the order of this slightly so it's in high order, so it's a little bit less messy. The Crystal Path by Georgina Easterbrook. She is the founder of Venus Crystals, the ultimate 7-step guide to unlocking your power. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one in the non-fiction section, and I think I might actually put the crystals there as well, because I am doing a little bit of a clean out with my non-fiction section. So if I include the crystal path, then it just makes sense to add the crystals there too. So I'm going to do that and I'll show you how that looks. I've also got a sage for, you know, cleansing the room. I haven't done that in ages, probably should, because I feel like the energy might be a little bit stagnant at the minute, so I do need to do that. Okay, I've changed my mind, it just doesn't fit, so I'm going to move this down here instead. Top shelf stayed the same. We have got the non-fiction section here, and then I've put the crystal selection here. I think that actually works as a standalone on the shelf. I think it actually looks quite nice. A Book of Manifestation by Astrid Carvel, which I'm going to add here as well. The angel cards and the chakra booklet are going back. I'm going to put them in the non-fiction section too. Let's go through my hardbacks. I have got the House of Blight by Maxime M. Martineau. I apologise if I've butchered the pronunciation. That is going to go on this shelf here at the bottom. I'm stressing myself out by doing a completely random order of how I'm organising this. Fourth Wing and Iron Flame by Rebecca Yaros. I have read both of these. I haven't yet read, what's it called? The Onyx. Can't remember the second part of it. I haven't yet read that, but I'm going to put this again down here. As you can see, I am a bit of a fantasy lover. I have The Night and Moth here, which I haven't read. I've heard great things. I haven't yet read that. And I've got Richard Osman, The Last Devil to Die, which is different to the fantasy theme. It's more of a crime comedy type book, but that is also going to go in the hardback section. Then I found Atomic Habits, which again is non-fiction. I'm going to put that in the non-fiction section. And I've got Madly Deeply, the Alan Rickman diaries, which my dad got me for Christmas because he knows I love Alan Rickman, but I haven't yet read it. But I'm going to read that in 2026. As if it's 2026, that is crazy. Alan Rickman, I'm going to actually put him in my TBR, in my To Be Read 2026 collection, just because, to be honest, he actually isn't going to fit in the hardback section because I've only done a small portion for that here. I'm going to organise my indie author collection. So these are all books that I have worked on. I'm going to put this on my bookshelf at the top here, my pride and joy. I haven't been able to buy all of my indie authors' books. So what you'll find is that a lot of these books are books that have either been sent to me or books that I bought right early on in my editor journey. Unfortunately, I've worked with over 50 plus writers now. I've worked on many, many books, and it just gets to be quite a struggle sometimes to be able to afford to buy all of them. And I do end up downloading a lot of them on Kindle or buying a lot of them on my Kindle as well. So this is just a very, very minute selection of the authors that I've worked with, the books that I've worked on, but they are incredible books, so I'm excited to show you. Fateborn, this is by the lovely Deborah Tamber. This is a fantasy book, and I'm going to put that here. I also have the special edition of this book, Fateborn, again, A Tale of Amethyst. Beautiful cover, and there's lovely sprayed edges as well, and the blurb on the back. I'm going to put that next to the paperback. Oh, no, actually, change my mind. I'm going to put the hardback first with the special edition first, and then the paperback. That looks much better. I didn't like how it wasn't in height order, so it's much better the way it is now. I will show you it properly at the end. The Lost Kingdom Saga. So there's actually 4 books out at the moment for this series. The first book I've got as a hardback, and then the rest I've got as paperbacks. But the hardback is actually in my room because I am reading it at the moment, because I'm rereading the entire series because we are currently on book 4.5, and then I'll soon be working on book 5, so you know, a refresher was needed. In terms of order, I will just need to adjust that slightly. Second book, third book, book 4.5 or 3.5? Yeah, 3.5. And then there's the first book, which is The Secrets of the Dead. This is by Laura Carter, and she is one of my oldest clients as well, fun fact. Fallen Thorns by Harvey Oliver Baxter. We have Marked by Fate by Jamie Hunt, and we have Secrets, Lies and Revenge by Ben Andrews. These are all books, again, that I worked on very early on in my career. These are the writers that, you know, invested in me, had faith in me very early on in my career as I was growing and learning as an editor, and I can't thank them enough, honestly. My camera did die, so I'm back about an hour later after waiting for it to charge. Hopefully the lighting hasn't changed too much. It's getting really dark outside and it's only 3:30 in the afternoon, but the clocks have just went back, fall forward, drop back. What is it? Fall forward. No, oh wait, the clock's gone forward. Spring, no, haha, that's it. Right, spring forward, so in the spring the clocks go forward, and then fall, like autumn, back. Okay, so yeah, clocks went back an hour, which is why it's 3:30, but it's acting like it's 4:30. It's freezing in this office. It's so cold, and yeah, it's getting dark outside, so I'm gonna get a move on with these books. They keep falling, stop falling! My books are a little bit all over the place, but I think that is actually it for my indie author collection. And as I'm looking at it, I realise I really need to start ordering more. Again, it ends up adding up to quite a lot if I'm buying every book that is published by my clients, so unfortunately it's not always a possibility. But looking at that bookshelf, I don't know if you can tell, like there's so much space there. I need to add something to bulk it up. I think what I might do is add the hardbacks to that section too, just to fill it out a bit. Okay, that makes me feel much better. Now I'm going to do the books I have already read. Wait, I did find another indie author book. I found Morgan Vela, Vanished, A Guardian Story. This is another book that I worked on very early on in my career, and I can't believe it was underneath another book, but I have found it. That is going in the indie author section. I'm going to remove these two and put them in this section here, just because they're quite chunky books. And I would rather just have them have like a little section down here so they don't take up so much space when I do the TBR and the books I've already read. The books I have already read, I've got quite a big collection actually. This is a small handful. I'm a big Freida McFadden fan, so a lot of these books are Freida McFadden, but a lot of them I have actually given to family and friends to read after me. So this is just a small selection of the Freida McFadden books I've read. But what I'm going to do with the books I have already read is I'm going to put them on the lower shelf, just because I don't need to pick them up again. I've already read them. Here you go, I have some more books. Some of these are crime, some of these are fantasy books. I'm going to order them first of all by author and then by theme, by genre. So if they're fantasy books, I'll group them together. If they're crime or horror, I'll group them together, just so there's a little bit of structure, okay? It might not be aesthetic, but there hopefully is structure. Also, for anyone who fancies crying their eyes out, I definitely recommend The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. It is a tearjerker for sure. I feel like I've read all of A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I've read about 4 books of the Throne of Glass series, and yet when you look at my book collection, I've only got 3 of the books across all of the series. And again, it's because of my love of the Kindle. I think that is it for books that I have read. Like I said, I do end up giving a lot of them to friends, to family, sometimes to charity shops, just to make sure that they're circulating, they're still being read. So the selection isn't too big actually, but what I'm going to do is there's 3 books here which cover the other books, and I hate it when that happens, so I'm going to put them in this tiny little cubby here where the hardbacks originally were, but where there's now Richard Osman's book, Alan Rickman's book, and 2 of the self-published books that I haven't actually worked on. They're just ones that I've read. Then we have a collection of books that I haven't read, and this is going to go in my to-be-read section for 2026. There's quite a lot of books here actually, and a lot of them I've had for years and just haven't touched. So Where the Crawdads Sing is one of them. Would love to know if anybody's read that, let me know. When the Moon Hatched. I have got some Freida McFadden books here that my father-in-law gave me because we share Freida McFadden books because we're tight like that. I'll put that in here. So again, this is a mix of crime, of thriller. I love fantasy books, but I do love a very quick, easy read, which I find it tends to be the case, especially with Freida McFadden books. And if you've read The Housemaid, you know what I mean. My plan for 2026, and it's been my plan for most years actually, is to just read the books that are currently in my Kindle and on my bookshelf and just read them, get them finished, don't buy any more books, and just read the ones that I've already bought. I've got a Rainbow Rowell book here, Carry On, and a book called, I feel like I'll mispronounce it, Cahokia Jazz by Frances Bufford. I tried this and struggled to get into it, so I am going to try it again and see in the new year if if it grows on me. Some more Freida McFadden books. I have Vox, which I'm really excited to read. I have got Foxglove, which is the sequel to Belladonna. I loved Belladonna. Again, I did try this and struggled to get into it, so hopefully I will get back into this because I've really, really enjoyed the first book. Okay, so we are starting to overlap, but that's okay. There isn't actually that many books left, so let me get the last final books and then I'll show you how I've reorganised my bookshelf. A part of me is questioning whether it even looks any better, but I'll let you be the judge and you can tell me how I can improve it in the future too. So a lot of these might look a little bit older because I did get quite a few of these from charity shops. But the first Phone Call from Heaven by Mitch Albom I think will make me cry because the book I recommended earlier, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, is very sad, very emotional. It's all about topics of grief, mourning. I imagine that the first Phone Call from Heaven is also very similar. And I also just wanted to show this book. It's called It's All About Theo, Life, Love and War with the World's Bravest Dog. He reminds me of my dog Steve, which I will show you in one video. I might include a picture here. He is a Labrador and so is Theo. But Steve, which is my Labrador, isn't a war dog. He is from working lines, but he hasn't been trained to be a working dog. He is more of a pet, a companion. But yeah, I bought this for £2.99 at a bookshop because he looks so much like Steve and I really want to hear his journey. This is the finished product. We've got the Stevie Nicks photos up there. We've got the self-help collection here with, you know, the chakra guides, the manifestation guides, the angel oracle cards. Then we've got a mix. So I need to get more indie author books, especially the ones that I've worked on. So that is another goal for 2026. I'm gonna fill out this bookshelf. I have got my collection of indie author books, which are from this point onwards. And then I've got some hardbacks that I have actually read, except for these two. Haven't read those two yet, so I need to do that in 2026. And we have my lovely little crystal collection, beautiful. And here we have, and again, I don't like when books overlap, but I don't have a huge bookshelf, which I would love to get one fitted from this point to this point. I think that would be a good idea, but I haven't yet done that. So we've just got this little bookshelf for now. My to be read in 2026. I am going to make it my mission, I'm going to document this as my mission to get these books finished in 2026. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 books here. So I think that's fairly doable. I also would like to read Alan Rickman's book here, as well as more of the Richmond Osman books. I have got the books that I have already read here, and truth be told, I haven't cleaned the bottom shelf because just don't have time, can't be bothered. This has been a very chaotic video. I just wanted to basically be productive and film a YouTube video. So I have cleaned my bookshelf, organised it again. I have got some books I'm going to take to charity. They're books that I have either read before or books that my partner's read that I don't think he plans to read again. So I will be returning those books to charity. But yeah, I hope this helped you to learn a little bit more about me, my taste in books, my love for spirituality, manifestation, things like that. Hopefully you'll stay tuned for more videos. You can watch my last video, which was all about finishing your first draft. I can confirm that I have actually finished my first draft now, thank the Lord. I will be beginning the self-editing process within the next week or so. My plan is to leave my manuscript to rest, and then once that has fully been left to sleep, to rest, my mind has been focusing on other things, I will then pick up that manuscript again, read through the entirety of it, and begin the self-editing process. So I am going to do a video soon on how to self-edit your book and how I'm self-editing. I'm going to document that journey for you. But for now, I hope you enjoyed looking at my bit messy bookshelf. If YouTube takes off, maybe I'll end up with a whole wall of books. Hopefully we're on a path to getting to know each other. Please subscribe, share this video with friends, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.